My name is Gina Duree. I'm a physical therapist, and I want to talk to you today about shoulders. I want to be doing a series on the mechanics of shoulders and exercises to protect your shoulder, things not to do, things to do. But to begin, you need to know that your shoulder is a very, very complex system. It is the joint in your body with the most degrees of freedom, and it is the most unstable joint in the body to be able to give you that sort of flexibility. And so that instability that comes along with mobility causes a lot of problems for people over time. The most common problem we see in shoulders is impingement. And if you could zoom up here a little bit and take a look at this model. Here, impingement comes from when the greater tuberosity is rising up during abduction and compresses here at this compression point. And when the arm comes back down again, that pain is felt on the side of the arm. Go. So in this model that we have here, so here again is the greater tuberosity. Again, as the arm reaches up, this bony process is making a little sandwich, so bone against bone with your rotator cuff muscles here. So now we're talking about the rotator cuff muscles. The rotator cuff muscles are all of these muscles that start on your shoulder blade and wrap around the humeral head. Their job is to literally hold the arm in the socket. Once these muscles, once their pull is negated, there really is nothing holding the arm in the socket. You can see here, this is really a relatively flat surface, but when you come up, that flat surface there's hardly anything to hold this round ball into this relatively flat socket. Anatomically, there is a labrum, which to me is like a little O-ring that goes around here that you can see in this model, this diagram here, a little rubber surface. Some people think of it like a meniscus. And this can become disrupted in some shoulder injuries that we'll discuss more in depth in a later video. So in the normal movement of a shoulder, the humeral head is shifting backwards and forwards like this. And over time, many of us develop bone spurs along the processes here. And over time, those bone spurs can cause rotator cuff tears. And this is kind of a natural process. Just like you get calluses on your hand when you work too hard with your hands, your body builds that overgrowth to protect your skin on the underneath side. So your bones also will produce a bony overgrowth here to protect you, but unfortunately that leads to problems here. At the same time, there's another organ that's in here, our bursa, which are absent in this model, but you can see in this model here, it's the blue tissue, is the bursa, the subacromial bursa. The bursa can become inflamed, and you can be having bursitis in your shoulder as well, that you can feel at the top of your arm when your arm comes to the side. But there's also a bursa in the front here, in front of the coracoid process, that can become painful when you're reaching your arm across your body. And it can affect the bicep long head tendon. So a lot of people will get some biceps tendinitis or tendinosis. So when you have a shoulder with inflammation in it, imagine then that these tissues are swollen. If you are moving your arm in a normal fashion with those swollen tissues, you are impinging and pinching those tissues even more. So what I really recommend for people to do when their shoulder is actively inflamed is to reduce their activity level, to reduce this pinching. In the short term, you want to start moving in your pain-free range to reduce this pinching and inflammation, because you're fighting a little bit of a losing battle if you're pushing yourself into trying to push into the exercises thinking that you're going to only have improvement if you push yourself through the pain. You're making things worse by causing more pinching and more inflammation, and so things are going to be swelling up more. So in the short term, you really need to protect your shoulder, reduce this jamming and impingement, and get the inflammation down. And then we will get you into exercises that will stabilize your arm in the socket and reduce that pinching. And that will be addressed on another video.